So I figured I would update everything that I know about the Pokeball Plus and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee with a quick little video. Trying to get through this a little bit quicker this time. So, number one, you have the Pokeball Plus. It has a control stick, which is also a clickable button. And then on top you have a clickable button here. This one works as the A button when you click it. This one works as the B button when you click it. On the back, you have a tiny little reset button, which will reset the whole Pokeball Plus completely. That's why it's nicely recessed back there. There you go. And then back here, underneath where the strap is attached, you have the charging port. When you push and hold the Pokeball Plus, when a Pokemon is inside of it, you will get the ring to light up. And it will light up the color of the Pokemon type that's inside. You can play with it in a few different ways. You can throw it up and down in the air. You can rock it back and forth. You can move the control stick. Or you can shake it. All of those will result in a noise for the Pokemon. When it flashes rainbow colors, it means that it really enjoyed playing. You can mute the sound of the Pokeball by pushing both top and bottom buttons at the same time. It will vibrate once when it mutes. It will vibrate twice when it unmutes. And you can mute it when in play mode or when it's in like sleep mode. You cannot mute the Pokeball when it is in connection with the Switch. When you don't have a Pokemon inside the Pokeball, it will light up and flash red. When charging the Pokeball, it'll make the Pokemon sound regardless of whether there is a Pokemon inside or not. The only time that it will not make the Pokemon noise, or the healing noise, is when it's muted and you reconnect it. There is a maintenance mode to the Pokeball Plus, and you access that by pushing both front and top buttons and holding down for 5 seconds. When you do, it'll light up the front ring, the color of the battery life level that it is. Green is 100 through 66%, yellow is 66 through 33%, and red is 33% through 1%. You can push the top button to cycle through 2 more modes. Blue is the connection mode, where you can push and hold the top and front buttons again to reset connection data, allowing you to connect it to another Switch. And when you push the top button again, it'll light up white, which will reset the user data when you push and hold the top and front buttons for another 5 seconds. To exit this mode, all you have to do is push the front button and then you're back in regular mode. Let's move on to connecting to the Switch. When the Switch is in sleep mode, you cannot wake the system with the Pokeball Plus. When the Switch has been awoken, one button push will connect it and you can access everything from the home menu. There is no way to select the home menu from the Pokeball Plus controller. While on the home menu, which you would have to access using a different controller, you can move around and select items just the same. You can select controllers, and you can actually see the battery level of the Pokeball Plus connected to the Switch as well. You cannot play other games with the Pokeball Plus, as it requires you to push both the L and R buttons, which aren't there. So let's go into talking about the Pokeball Plus and the Pokemon Let's Go. In this case, it's Pokemon Eevee. It does recommend that you use the safety strap so you don't throw it across the room or hurt anybody. And as soon as it is connected with the game, the Pokeball Plus will start making noises in relation to the game itself. When using the Pokeball Plus with Pokemon Let's Go, you have access to the A button and the B button, and also shaking the controller accesses different functions as well. From the main screen, you can shake the controller in order to play with the Pokemon. When you're in partner play, you can use the controller with sort of like a motion gyro to move the cursor on the screen to play with the Pokemon. You can also click the front stick to pet or poke, and push the B button to exit. When in this screen, you can push the B button to access the menu. You can go to Party. You can select your Pokemon, and then to take it out of a Pokeball to make it walk behind you, you select Take Out of the Pokeball, and it will change the Pokemon that's walking behind you. Also, while in Party, you can shake it to access your actual Pokemon box. You can also shake it from here to access the sort menu. You can shake it to access the sort menu in almost every single sortable area. When selecting a Pokemon and selecting the summary, you can shake it to reorder the moves. Also, while in the bag, you can shake it to sort your item. While in the Pokédex, you can also shake to sort. When checking the Pokemon data, you can sort it to change the language that the Pokédex is being viewed in. When you're in the Pokédex and you're viewing the actual Pokemon models, you can move the controller to move the Pokemon around, and you can access the actual movements that it does by shaking the controller. To take a Pokemon on a stroll with you, go to the Save menu, hit Take a Pokemon for a Stroll. You'll have to connect the controller that you wish to use. Make sure that when you're taking a Pokemon for a stroll in a Pokeball, that you connect the Pokeball that was originally connected with this game. If you connect a Pokeball that was connected with another game, it will erase the Pokemon walk data from that Pokeball and overwrite it. When you get to this menu, you can select either your partner Pokemon to automatically put your partner Pokemon in the Pokeball, or go to the Pokemon box to put any Pokemon that you have in your Pokeball. I'm going to put the Victory Bell in here. After it communicates, it will add the Pokemon to the ball. And now they're in here. The Pokemon will also be in your party and will not leave the game. It will level up concurrently, so you can level up in the game and with the Pokeball Plus. And it tracks all this data and just adds it all together when you bring the Pokemon back from a stroll. When using the Pokeball Plus to catch Pokemon, just the same, you run into the Pokemon in the wild. A button, B button. You get ready by pushing the A button. And then just the same as with the Joy-Con, you throw the controller to catch the Pokemon. In the case of the Pokeball Plus, it will make noises in time with the shaking of the Pokeball. And also, if you catch or miss catching the Pokemon. If you have two people, you can use two Pokeball Pluses. While playing, you can connect a Pokeball Plus or another Joy-Con at any time. And then as long as the green icon in the corner that looks like two players, here let me give you like a little close-up. As long as that icon is on screen, you can add or remove another player. When you have two players, the other player will throw a Pokeball just the same as you do. Each Pokeball that the other trainer throws counts towards your total, so yes, you will use two Pokeballs per throw. You can synchronize your throws for better bonuses and better capture rates. And when catching with both Pokeballs will activate their noises and make the noise. A couple closing things. The Pokemon does not need to be in the play mode, where the light is lit up the color of the type of Pokemon inside of it, to collect steps. It will collect steps just like this when it's not connected to the Switch or not in play mode. Sometimes the Pokemon will call out to you. All you'll have to do is play with it just like you normally would to sort would have respawned. And when you return it back from the walk, that's when you collect things like experience, candies, and other items that help level up your Pokemon. I will not be going over how to connect this with the Pokemon Go for the smartphones, as I haven't been able to get it to connect with the smartphone just yet. But if you have any familiarity with the Pokeball Plus or the Pokemon Go Plus that came out a couple years back, where it was just a sensor that was enabled to connect to Pokemon stops and Pokemon in the wild, it functions basically the same way. So there you go, a nicely condensed version of the Pokeball Plus and its connections with the Switch and some functions and features that it has on its own. If there are any more questions, or if anybody has anything that I haven't mentioned here, please mention them down below in the comments, and we'll talk about them there. Thanks. Bye-bye.